Breaking news. Supreme Leader Khamenei reported killed in U.S.-Israeli airstrikes, Middle East on the brink. These are the words flashing on every television screen, radio, and phone around the world. The headlines are bold, the tone is urgent. This is a moment that will define a generation. On this March 1st, 2026, the world is watching as events unfold minute by minute, with people holding their breath, unsure of what tomorrow will bring. In a rare joint statement, both the White House and the Israeli Prime Minister's office confirm a coordinated military offensive against Iran has begun. The operation, codenamed Lion's Roar, has hit strategic targets deep inside Iranian territory. Sirens blare in cities from Tel Aviv to Tehran, families huddle in shelters, and leaders scramble to respond. Newsrooms everywhere are alive with activity. Reporters race to deliver updates. Images pour in of burning buildings and fleeing civilians. The story dominates every conversation, from New York to New Delhi. There is fear, there is anger, and there is uncertainty. No one can look away. As the world reacts, the sense of emergency is clear. This is not just another conflict. This is history in the making, with lives changed forever in just a few hours. Israel has entered a state of national emergency. The government announces the closure of all airspace, and all flights are immediately grounded. Reservists are called up, with thousands of Israeli men and women reporting to bases across the country. The streets of Jerusalem and Tel Aviv are nearly empty, except for the military convoys rolling through intersections, heading toward unknown destinations. Hospitals across the country prepare for mass casualties. Emergency sirens wail across cities and towns, instructing people to seek shelter. In shopping centers and schools, confusion and panic erupt as everyone rushes to the nearest safe zone. Supermarket shelves empty quickly, and people queue for hours at gas stations, worried about what might come next. At the same time, the Israeli Defense Forces share updates on social media and television, urging calm but warning citizens to remain alert. In homes, families gather around radios, following every development as memories of past wars resurface. The tension is thick in the air. This is a nation bracing for hard days ahead. Despite the fear, there is also a sense of unity. Across Israel, people hang Israeli flags from balconies, and messages of solidarity flood social media. The country is on edge, but it is also ready to stand together in the face of danger. The world learns the name of the operation Lion's Roar. This is the joint military strike carried out by the United States and Israel. The main targets include Iran's nuclear facilities, command centers, and military bases. The leaders say the aim is to stop Iran's nuclear program and weaken its control over armed groups in the region. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu addresses the nation, his voice firm but tired. "We are acting for the safety of Israel and the world," he says. Iran's regime has crossed every red line. In Washington, former President Donald Trump, who returned to office in 2025, also speaks. He calls the strikes necessary to prevent a nuclear catastrophe and promises continued support for Israel. The airstrikes begin just before dawn. Missiles streak across the sky, lighting up the darkness. Fighter jets roar overhead. The world watches live footage of explosions and smoke rising from Iranian cities. Pentagon officials confirm significant damage to Iran's missile factories and nuclear research centers. But the leaders also warn, this is only the beginning. "We will do what is needed to defend our people," Netanyahu repeats. The region is now on edge, with everyone unsure how Iran will respond and how far the conflict will go. One of the airstrikes hits a target near Tehran, where Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei is believed to be meeting with top military officials. Iranian state television first denies the reports, but soon, videos and images emerge of a destroyed compound. Later, Iranian officials confirm Khamenei is dead. Khamenei led Iran for almost 4 decades. His words shaped the country's policies, its confrontations with the West, and its support for armed groups across the region. His death sends shockwaves through Iran. Crowds gather in city squares, some mourning, others uncertain about the future. Streets are filled with both anger and relief. Iranian officials vow revenge. Revolutionary Guard commanders appear on television, promising that the blood of the supreme leader will not be forgotten. In the chaos, the government imposes a curfew in several cities, and security forces move quickly to prevent unrest. For many Iranians, Khamenei's death brings hope for change, but also fear of what could come next. The country stands at a crossroads, with the world watching its next move. The joint offensive is met with immediate retaliation. Within hours, Iranian-backed groups fire rockets into Israel. In Tel Aviv, explosions shake the city. Buildings are damaged, cars burn, and glass litters the streets. Sirens keep blaring, and emergency services rush from one scene to another. In the town of Bamish, near the border, the damage is even worse. Several apartment buildings are hit, trapping families inside. Firefighters work through the night, pulling survivors from the rubble. Ambulances speed through the streets, their lights flashing in the darkness. Hospitals fill quickly. Doctors and nurses work non-stop, treating injuries from burns to broken bones. Volunteers arrive with water, food, and blankets for those who lost their homes. The scenes are chaotic, but there is also hope. Every rescued child, every reunited family, is a small victory. Across Israel, people share messages of support and solidarity. The pain is real, but so is the determination to survive and help one another. Iran's response is, swift and deadly. Missiles are launched from Iranian territory across the Persian Gulf, targeting American military bases and key infrastructure in the United Arab Emirates, Kuwait, and even Cyprus. The strikes cause massive explosions, setting oil storage tanks and power plants ablaze. In Dubai and Abu Dhabi, alarms send people running for shelter. The skyline is filled with smoke as emergency teams fight fires and search for survivors. Hospitals in the Gulf states are stretched to the limit, treating both locals and foreign workers injured in the blasts. The governments of the UAE and Kuwait condemn the attacks, calling for urgent help from the international community. Airports are closed, and thousands of travelers are stranded. Social media fills with images of chaos, families separated, children crying, and first responders risking their lives. The fear spreads quickly. People worry about further attacks, shortages of food and water, and a possible wider war. The region is tense, and honestly, no one knows what will happen next. With airspace closed over Israel and much of the Gulf, tens of thousands of people find themselves stranded. Israelis trying to return home, tourists stuck in hotels, and business travelers caught in airports. All wait anxiously for news. Ben Gurion Airport in Tel Aviv is packed with people sleeping on the floor, their flights canceled. Rescue teams work to help the most vulnerable, including children, the elderly, and those needing medical care. Buses are sent to evacuate people from dangerous areas. The Israeli government sets up hotlines and information centers trying to keep families connected. International airlines suspend all flights to and from the region. Governments in Europe and the US issue travel warnings, urging their citizens to avoid the Middle East. The travel freeze adds to the chaos, with people desperate to reach safety or reunite with loved ones. Despite the confusion, stories of kindness emerge. Strangers share food, volunteers distribute blankets, and airport staff do their best to comfort frightened children. In the midst of uncertainty, humanity really shines through. Rescue workers and medical teams are the heroes of this crisis. In Tel Aviv, firefighter Dov Mizrahi describes pulling a family from a burning building. "We heard cries under the rubble. We never gave up," he says, tears in his eyes. Paramedic Sarah Cohen shares how her team treated wounded children in the street, working under the threat of more rocket fire. Eyewitnesses tell stories of shock and bravery. "We saw the sky light up, then the windows shattered," says Miriam, a shopkeeper in Bamish. "People were scared, but we helped each other." In a hospital waiting room, a mother hugs her son, grateful he is alive. "We lost our home, but we have each other," she says quietly. American military medics in the Gulf states also work around the clock, treating injuries and comforting survivors. One U.S. Army nurse, John Lewis, says, "These are ordinary people caught in the middle. Our job is to give them hope." Their courage inspires many. Across the region, ordinary people step up to help neighbors, strangers, and friends, showing that even in war, compassion can make a difference. In Iran, the mood is somber but also filled with hope. Activists and young people gather in secret, talking about the chance for real change after Khamenei's death. For years, we dreamed of a new beginning, says Roya, a student in Tehran. But we are afraid too. The future is not clear. Some hope for peace and freedom, while others fear more violence and repression. In Israel and across the Gulf, people pray for an end to the fighting. Families mourn the dead and wait for news of loved ones. Leaders from Europe, China, and the United Nations call for calm, urging all sides to stop the violence and return to talks. Humanitarian groups warn of a growing crisis, with millions at risk if the conflict spreads. The fighting continues, and the risks remain high. Yet, in the midst of fear, there are also calls for peace. People everywhere hope for a future without war, a future where families are safe and nations can rebuild. The world holds its breath, watching and waiting. The story is not over. But the hope for peace, change, and safety burns brighter than ever.